Hey, everybody. This is Micah Lieberman once again from Scope doing a Voices of Scope interview, having Jimmy back because Jimmy Bechtel, when we did our video, I don't know, last year, you had a different job title, buddy. So Jimmy's new job title is Chief Site Success Officer at SCRS. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks for having me again, Micah. Always a pleasure.
Cool, man. Okay. So we just saw each other at Scope US. And you just got back from your European summit, and I know you're recovering, but we're doing Scope X in May in Boston, May 18th, 19th in Boston, co-located with BioIT World, which is in its 25th year, really cool. But you're hosting a discussion firstly on kind of applying AI at the site level. Secondarily, you're going deeper into an actual presentation on AI governance at the site. So what does that mean? Because so many people are really talking about, hi, I'm Micah from sponsor company X. Here's what we're doing and using. This is your presentation and your discussion are really important, but they're unique. What does AI governance at the site mean?
Yeah. So we know that a lot of sites are dabbling in this and they're exploring it. And a lot of these tools, AI that's out there, things like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're very approachable and they're very affordable. We don't have to spend a bunch of money. I mean, ChatGPT is $20 a month, right? So we don't have to spend a lot of money on this. So sites are really engaging in some of these tools and they're figuring it out. But where the problems start to exist and this concept of governed AI comes up is that's actually potentially dangerous because we're dropping information that is technically protected and confidential into these free AI tools, which most people don't understand are open source. They're public.
Yes.
They can use that information in whatever way they see fit. You might as well be posting your protocols and your informed consent forms on Facebook at that point. So when we're talking about governance of AI, we talk about how important it is that we continue to find those efficiencies through the execution of clinical trials using AI tools in a protected and safe way so that we're not breaching anybody's confidentiality agreements.
Okay, that's a clear answer. I have a very, very, very practical question. If I'm Micah Lieberman, not from Scope, but I'm a coordinator, I got my set. If I have the paid version of ChatGPT, does that change anything? Meaning, are the upgraded versions, do they have increased privacy? This is a practical question people are asking.
Sure. Well, and without getting too technical into it, the short answer is generally yes. That isolates those environments. And it doesn't, it quite literally in their terms of service, it doesn't grant them explicit permission to train their models on the information that you put into it, et cetera, et cetera. They're gaining their momentum and their training and their information on what's happening in the free versions, but those isolated sort of paid environments that you have a different set of protections. Now, I don't want to blanket statement too much because you should absolutely do your own research on that. But what we have understood to this point is that generally those paid tools, those subscription-based models do have a certain set of protections in them. But still, as a coordinator, I should be hesitant in what I'm plopping into any of these tools in any.
I just wanted to ask an obvious low-level question because it came up at Scope a lot. People were sometimes embarrassed to ask because they're like, I don't want to look like I don't know. But this is a new world, man. This is a new world. We're all in it together. These are amazing tools. I don't know if you remember, you saw in one of the keynotes at Scope, somebody was like, hey, man, I don't need more agents. I need more like kind of very focused assistants, and I need my teams to understand how to use these tools so they have digital assistants, not necessarily autonomous agents. It's an interesting concept. So part of your presentation is talking about AI governance at the site level. And part of it is also like some sites are more technically savvy than others.
Sure.
So what is a practical SCRS is in a unique position. You guys are at the center of a community. So when we talk about practical frameworks, is that a discussion that's happening where all of the sites are starting to share best practices? Or is everybody, frankly, as is the case in my life and probably your life, you're just moving You're like, yep, I'm rebuilding the kitchen while living in the house. This is my world. I can't afford to rent another house. So the reality is everybody's kind of going, are sites sharing best practices through SCRS? What are some of these practical frameworks? What are they looking like? How does this happen?
Yeah, and capturing those is always the apex of the challenge because we as an industry, to your point, tend to build the house while we're living in it,
Yeah.
and move forward with these technologies when we haven't done our due diligence or the necessary steps to really understand how we maximize our efficient use of them. So that's how we've gotten into this concept of ungoverned AI, is that
Yeah.
we're just moving and we're like, oh, let's give it a shot, and we don't take the time to understand the ramifications for our
Okay.
actions. So yes, that is consciously the direction that we're heading, is helping sites and the ecosystem understand. We've done this at some of our summits. We've had experts in AI come and speak. I'm
Yep.
sure we're going to hear a lot about it at ScopeX too. What are some of these best practices that we can bring back to
Yep.
our organizations to help understand what the cans and can'ts do's and should and shouldn't do's are with AI in the clinical research environment. And then on top of that, you have these organizations, these independent service providers and sponsors and CROs, and SCRS for that matter, developing AI tools that are going to be services that are going to be tacked onto the top of what we
Right.
do and what we execute in clinical trials. So yes, we are moving in the direction and should be consciously developing and putting some standardization and hard and fast kind of do's and don'ts in for AI, which will continue to evolve because the use of AI is continuing to evolve, right? We
Yes.
have this generative concept, and you would ask it questions and you would do things in it, but now we have agency that is being constructed and enabled through AI. And so what does that mean? And how does that apply to research, to the point you made earlier? So yeah, we need to do that, and we need to continue to build upon it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, closing thought is it's interesting because you and I talk to a lot of the same people. We hear these discussions, and there's a mix of absolute excitement, confusion, and a little bit of fear. So it's an interesting time, and I think people do you want to enable your teams to explore and kind of innovate, right? Sometimes the
Right.
people closest to the patient, closest to the site, closest to the technology, you're not necessarily the data scientist. You're the person doing the work, and you now have the ability to try these new and amazing tools and figure some stuff out, but we have to do it within a certain framework, and it's moving fast. All right, I got it. This is cool, man. So I appreciate you doing this at Scope X in May, and by the time we're in May, there may be even some more case studies you'll be
That's
adding, man.
exactly right. We'll see what's next.
Cool. All right, good to see you, Jimmy. Thank you,
You
man.
too, Micah. Thank you.
Okay, bye.